I saw a video about a man named Ronald Clark O'Bryan. The name probably isn't very familiar, but the crimes may be. He's also known as the Candy Man, the man who killed Halloween, the Pixie Sticks killer. He was in financial trouble. He took out insurance policies on his 2 children, and he used Halloween as a cover to try to murder his son Timothy, try to murder his daughter Elizabeth, which he wasn't able to do, and in order to cover it up, he tried to kill 3 other children, which was unsuccessful. Now, one thing about Ronald Clark O'Bryan is that he represents the very extreme of psychopathy, because most psychopaths will not harm children. Most psychopaths who harm children will not harm their own children. And even most child murderers, it's usually like a sudden snapping. Like in the case of Susan Smith or Andrea Yates, it's in a psychotic episode. The family annihilator who just goes crazy. But Ronald Clark O'Bryan planned to do it. He took out an insurance policy. Now, psychopaths can't empathize with other people, but generally speaking, most psychopaths will see their own children as extensions of self. Therefore, they will usually treat the child with kindness and show pride in the child's accomplishments. The fact that he was willing to plan in advance the murders of his children for gain, although not unprecedented by any means, shows that he was at this very extreme edge of psychopathy. His fellow death row inmates, all brutal murderers, regarded him with utter contempt. He had no friends on death row. They despised him because of the extreme nature of his crime. Or crimes, I should say. Because it was not only the murder of Timothy, but the attempted murders of Elizabeth and 3 other children. Now, I also have to wonder about his daughter. What was it like to know that your own father tried to murder you? That your own father couldn't care about you at all? Murdered your own brother. But of course, that does happen. There's people whose brain connections just don't get made. Psychopathy is probably the result of genetic weaknesses plus environmental factors. Certain connections just are not made early in the brain. And if they're not made early, they can't be made later on. That's why, treatments for adult psychopaths have all proved completely, to this date at least, failures. Now, it's possible that a treatment will be found. Knock on wood, hope springs eternal. So we can't give up on anybody. And I have read that there are interventions in children who show psychopathic traits have shown promise. But yeah, when somebody's an adult, if they can't empathize, then, you know, showing them love or affection isn't going to do very much. Because again, the connections in the brain just aren't there. But anyway, again, the basic point is Ronald Clark O'Bryan, the man who killed Halloween, the Candyman, the Pixie Sticks killer, he did represent a very, very extreme version of psychopathy. One that is actually very unusual, but it does occur. In fact, some states actually have made it illegal to buy life insurance on children that is more expensive than a funeral would be, to prevent their